Good morning. This is Don the Idea Guy. It is Wednesday, November 16th, and this is episode 47 of Running Through My Mind, the only podcast broadcast from a parking lot. Again, this is Don the Idea Guy from dontheideaguy.com. In case you've stumbled across this podcast and have no idea who I am, I help businesses and individuals and entrepreneurs and anybody who needs an idea or has an idea to put those ideas into action at some level and to hopefully profit from them. So if you need an idea, you can reach out to me at my website, which I've mentioned I think twice now. So dontheideaguy.com. There you go, one more time. And this morning we are enjoying a warm beverage from my sponsor, Drip Joy Coffee. I've got Colombian Cheer in the travel mug, and it's a good day for it because it's a bit chilly this morning. And the show is definitely powered by caffeine. And this is, we're winding down on episodes. A couple episodes back, I said that we're going to call this project done at 50. And now all that happens is more ideas for a new podcast pop into my head. So there's... yesterday I said there was one solo podcast I was thinking about doing. Now I've got two solo podcasts that I think would make sense. And then we have the co-produced ones that hopefully we'll move forward on. We'll see what happens with those. Today I want to talk about putting ideas into action. Indeed, along that topic, one of the show listeners, his name is Lee. He has a brand named Mr. Explainer, and I'll link that up in the show notes. But we had a conversation. He listened to the show, reached out, and wanted to set up a phone call, and we did that through my website, dontheideaguy.com. I have no idea why I can't stop saying that this morning, but we scheduled a 15-minute phone call. And if you've ever done a brainstorm with me, you know that my times are flexible. So when you schedule a time to do a 90-minute formal beanstorm, which is ideas generated over coffee, I used to say they were an hour, and they definitely went to 2 hours. So I call them 90 minutes, and now they go to 3 hours. So you're just never done with ideas. So when you're booking those with me, you should always plan for it overlapping. Because I can't help it. Once we come up with one concept, that leads to another one. So our 15-minute phone call went to 90 minutes yesterday. So I'm glad he had the flexibility in his schedule to keep talking. Because he's got a lot of projects he's working on. And we talked about his brand, and we talked about how he got started in freelance, and we talked about a course he wants to develop, and we talked about how he could mentor some people who want to develop their freelance business. And we talked about some of the websites where he can build that out. And we talked about some of his clients and what he could do to generate more business from them. And it was really apparent after probably the initial 10 to 15 minutes of the call that Lee did not have a problem with generating new ideas. And I'm finding out more and more with my clients, they have an idea, or they have 5 or 10 different ideas. The problem is they're stuck, and I think this was the case with Lee, and he would admit it, that you get stuck knowing which idea to take action on. Because there are short-term ideas and there are long-term ideas. And which ones do you move on first? I think for that you go back to your long-term goals and decide what you want to accomplish. In 5 years, in 3 years, in 1 year, in 6 months, in 3 months, in 1 month. What do you want to have done at each of those points? Because the longer you wait to put a long-term project into action, the longer it will take, quite literally. Because if you think a project's going to take a year to take off, or 5 years to develop into something that is profitable enough where you can quit your day job, the faster you get that rolling, the faster your countdown to 5 years starts, right? So I think it's important to at least take some initial steps on the longer term project to get it going, to start the snowball rolling down the mountain so it can turn into the giant cartoon-like ball of snow. on the other hand, there are things you need to do in the short term that will be quick wins that can generate profits for you and your company now that will allow you to wait out the 5 years it's going to take to develop that other project. And I don't want to say wait out, but because you're going to work during that 5 years. You don't launch it and then walk away and come back 5 years later and say, oh, look, a pile of money. That doesn't work. I've tried it. It doesn't work. So I think it's a mixture of starting the ball rolling on the long-term project and then lining up the quick win projects that hopefully enhance the long-term project, right? So I don't want to use Lee as the example anymore because I don't want to give away too much of what we talked about on the call. But let's talk about trying to give you a good example. Let's talk about the coffee business. I love coffee. Or let's talk about Hawaii. I don't think I've mentioned this in the podcast before, but I had I'm not a traveler. I don't enjoy the process. I hate being cramped into a plane for a while. I think most people when they travel act like jerks. I think the airlines are just a complete mess, and everybody that works for them are just huge idiots who have no sense of customer service, no sense of building customer loyalty, and they just hate everybody they serve. I swear to God, they hate them. So I had a speaking gig, on the other hand, which I love. I'll go anywhere to speak. Like, I just love speaking. I love getting up on the stage and talking to a group of people and sharing ideas with a room full of people. So it's this weird thing of, hey, Don, do you want to go on vacation to someplace? And I'm like, no, I hate that. Let's stay home. And, we have Netflix. We don't need to go anyplace. Or would you like to go to this obscure, out-of-the-way place to speak? And I'm like, oh, speak. Yeah, absolutely. Let's go. We're going to get there by horse-drawn carriage, and it's 70 days of traveling over mountains. Yeah, I'm in, man. So I had this opportunity to go speak in Hawaii. And Hawaii's never been on my bucket list. It just seems like it's really far away, and it would take a long time to get there. And I'm not a thin guy, so it's not like I want to go hang around on a beach in shorts. So I just could care less about Hawaii. But it was a speaking gig there, and boy, that's nice work if you can get it. So I was like, yeah, man, sign me up. This will be great. It was speaking to an audience that I adore, broadcasters. I have so much love for broadcasting, that industry, that I was really excited to share ideas with this group. So we get to go out there, and I get to take my then we were just dating. We weren't even engaged. I got to take my girlfriend with me, and we went to Hawaii. And oh my God, I fell in love with Hawaii. The gig was on Oahu, and the actual association could not pay the normal speaker fee. They didn't have the budget for it. But we negotiated extra time in Hawaii. So they would cover the hotel for a little while longer, and I got to spend a couple extra days in Hawaii. So I just fell in love with the place. I mean, you've maybe have heard, if you haven't been there, you may have heard of the Aloha Spirit, and it's a real thing. It's just the best place ever, right? So I fell in love with this place, couldn't wait to go back. We went back a few years later and got married there. And at this point, I don't want to go back home. Like it's a 10-hour flight, and we land in Columbus, where I live, from our first trip. And I go, I love Hawaii so much. They could just fill up the plane. I'll stay on the plane, and we can turn around and fly. I'll fly another 10 hours to go back. That's how much I loved Hawaii, in the cramped up little coach seats. And the long story here is, I would love to move to Hawaii. So we have to come up with this plan of moving to Hawaii. And moving to Hawaii is not an easy thing. It's going to be like a 5-year plan minimum. So my wife, because we flew back out the second time to get married out there, she's quite the planner. So I've tasked her with, put together the plan. What does it take for us to move to Hawaii? Is it a 3-year plan? Is it a 5-year plan? Is it a 10-year plan? What do we need? What ducks do we need to line up into a row to move to Hawaii? And it's steps, right? So I have quite a collection of books, and I've been collecting books, physical books, for ever. Since I was a kid. I still have the books I got from the Scholastic reading program in, third and fourth grade. I still have those books. And she goes, well, you're not going to be able to move all these books, so you're going to have to get rid of some of your stuff. And books aren't the only thing I have. They're just the most thing I have. But there are lots of other souvenir things. I've got little castle statues, collector crap, and I've got, like 3 different work desks and 3 computers, and I can't even tell you how many bookcases. And I just have a lot of crap. I've got a lot of stuff. I've been fortunate. I'm not calling it crap. I've been fortunate. I've collected a lot of things. I love my stuff. But when you compare the love for my stuff to my love for moving to Hawaii, I said burn it all. So if we had a chance to move to Hawaii tomorrow, I'd just burn it all. Just give it all away, sell it on eBay, send me the check, and I'll be in Hawaii. I'll send you the forwarding address. That's if we were moving tomorrow. The problem comes when we're not moving tomorrow and the plan stretches out. So if let's say it's a 5-year plan, what am I going to have to do across 5 years to start that process moving to Hawaii? It's a long-term goal. So what can I do in the short term for wins that move me in the right direction? So what I started doing with the books is every day I take one book off a shelf and I put it into a box. And when that box gets filled, I take the box to either donate it to Goodwill, or I donate it to Salvation Army, or I bring it to the office and I let my coworkers take whatever the books they want out of it. My last option is I take it to Half Price Books and sell them, because you get nothing for the books. It's more aggravating than anything else. I think I took a great big box of books to them one time and I got $6 for an entire box of books that I know, if you added up the cover price, was well over $100. So that just drives me crazy. I'd rather give them away than sell them secondhand, because you never get the money back and it's just frustrating. So one step that I could take every day to activate my move to Hawaii project was to put one book in a box. So now I'm not sure if the phone will let me switch apps or not. So what I did was I started keeping track of the books I was putting into a box using an app called Productive. And every day I put a book in a box. And as of yesterday, and the count might be a little off because I think I started my Productive list after I started putting the books in a box. I'm not sure though, but as of yesterday, my official count, the one that I can actually track back, the most assured number was, as of yesterday, we had 351 books that I've put into a box. I've been doing this for over a year. And can you tell by looking at my bookshelves that I've gotten rid of 351 books? I can, because I can tell where the gaps are. But I don't think most people would still look at my bookshelves and go, you have a ton of books. So I still have a long way to go. And it has officially gotten to the point of now choosing the book becomes really difficult, because now I'm picking from books that I really enjoyed, or I bought and didn't get around to reading yet, and I still like the idea of reading the concept. Some of the books I read a long time ago, never picked up again. They were easy to put in a box. At one point, I could grab a shelf full of books and say, these are going in the box. And I actually had a week's worth of books pulled out in advance that I could just go down the list. I can't do that anymore. Every day it is a struggle. I used to put one book in a box in the morning, and I've noticed that this week I've moved it to the evening because I'm having a hard time pulling books off the shelf. So, yes, the task has gotten more difficult, but I haven't backed away from it. Bringing this back, long story, back to our point is, what one task can you do every day that will move you further along the process of your long-term project? And it's interesting, we go back to this conversation of the very doable, ridiculously short deadline, daily activity, the daily habit. That's one of the reasons I started this podcast as a daily project. We've discussed before at length about BigYellowSticky.com, where I do one yellow sticky note every single day, and I've been doing that for going on to 2 years. Push-ups, I'm not sure if we covered that or not, but every day, I got this from somebody else's podcast where they talked about doing a ridiculously short deadline on something, and they said if you want to do 100 push-ups a day, you don't start from day one and say I'm going to do 100 push-ups a day, because you'll never do it. What you can do is say I'm going to do one push-up. Now, while you're down on the floor doing one push-up, you may end up doing 3, or you may do 5. For a while, if you're following me on social media, you saw I was doing 22 push-ups a day for a promotion called #22kill, which was an organization that was bringing awareness to the high rate of suicide among returning veterans, where they were trying to collect 22 million push-ups by encouraging people to do a daily challenge of 22 push-ups a day for 22 days in a row. And I participated in that. It was really cool. What I didn't really mention was, up until then, I had been doing 25 or 30 push-ups a day because that was my daily habit. So I actually came down to 22 for that promotion. And then I got lazy afterwards, and I skipped a couple of days because I did the 22 in a row. And then now I'm working my way back up again, and now I do 10 a day, which sounds really weak. It sounds lame as hell, right? 10 push-ups a day. Oh my God. But 10 push-ups a day versus 0 a day, 10 is better. So putting books into a box, 1 book a day into a box sounds really lame, but 1 book every day for more than a year, that's a lot of books. Some people don't even own that many books to be able to do that. I've still got a couple of years ahead of me, I think. So anyway, where was I going? The daily action. What action can you take you further to your long-term goal? Pick one ridiculously small thing that you can do every day that'll move you closer to your long-term goal and gives you an instant daily victory. So give yourself, try that. Give yourself one of those tasks. Find one action that you can take on a daily basis that seems ridiculously small. If you're in sales, identify one prospect every day. Your sales manager wants you to come up with 10 prospects every day, right? Come up with 1. Promise yourself you'll come up with 1. You can't help but accidentally come up with 3. Then you're going to reach out to 1 past customer a day and just send them a note card. Not an email. You're going to write 1 note card every single day, and you're going to send it out to somebody to thank them for their past business. Don't ask them for new business. Don't ask them for anything. Don't ask them for a referral. Just say hello. Just say, your name came up in conversation yesterday and I was thinking about you. Hadn't heard from you in a while. Just wanted to send you this note to say hello. And signed you. Slap a stamp on it and mail it. And get cool stamps. There's like Batman stamps out there. There's Wonder Woman stamps out there. Put a cool stamp on it. People notice. Write it by hand. Don't write it on a computer and print off 50 of them and send 1 every day for 50 days. Write it by hand. Get cool note cards. And if you're a cheap bastard, you can go to Half Price Books. They sell lots of note cards there that you can get at a discount. I found a bunch of really cool note cards that have coffee on them. So there's like an Americano and a latte and an espresso. And that fits with my personality with the whole coffee and ideas thing. So find some note cards that match up your personality. And if you can't find them in a store, get them made. Moo.com. Go to moo.com and get some cards there with a custom graphic on it. Even better if you do a picture of you and the client. So, do one thing. So that's 1 prospect a day, 1 note card a day, and then do 1 sales call a day. 1 person that you're going to meet face to face. You don't even have to terminate a sales call. Meet them for coffee in the morning. Meet them for a drink for happy hour after work. But pick 1 person a day that you're going to meet. So at the end of the week, you will have found 5 new prospects. You will have sent out and you would have contacted 5 past clients, and you will have had 5 meetings with new people. That will equate business. That will give you more business, because one of the people you send a note card to will go, "Oh man, I've been meaning to contact you. We have a new project to talk to you about." Another one will remember your name and go, "Oh yeah, I need to give that name to so-and-so that I was talking to yesterday when they asked me if I knew anybody that did X." And they got your note card just at the perfect time. do not underestimate the universe of coincidence that is out there and take advantage of it. Because it recognizes the people that take action. It's not the secret where you wish for it really, really hard because you really, really want it and it delivers it to you. The secret is you have to take action on it. That's what the real secret is. You can't just wish for it. You got to go work for it. That's it for today. You've gotten a lot of stories out of me. I think we're winding down, and I'm worried about fitting stuff in as we finish up our days. So I'll be back again tomorrow for a Thursday edition of Running Through My Mind, the only podcast broadcast from a parking lot. In the meantime, if you want to talk over coffee and bounce around some ideas, you can reach out to me at DonTheIdeaGuy.com. And if we're not here local, where we can meet up in person to have coffee together, I highly recommend you get some Drip Joy coffee from our sponsor, Drip Joy. It works in any K-Cup brewer, and you can find out more about Drip Joy at DonTheIdeaGuy.com/DripJoy. And I know we're winding down the podcast, but if you want to leave, a review and a rating on iTunes, you can get all those links by going to DonTheIdeaGuy.com/mind, M-I-N-D, as in running through my. And it'll give you the link to this podcast on Spreaker, and there are links on that page for the iTunes, the iTunes subscription, and that's really the place where any of the ratings and reviews mean anything. So, hey, if you're going to take the time to do it, make the highest impact that you can. That goes for work, that goes for life, and apparently that goes for podcast reviews. Hey, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.